This week, the Civil War heads back east as battles happen across the original 13 colonies. Do you remember the Apache from the last 2 weeks? Well, the trilogy of battles is completed this week, though we don't know exactly when. 35 men of the Arizona Guard are sent out to destroy the 100 Apache from last week at Cook's Canyon. They search and search and search, but can't seem to find them, and are forced to take camp for the night. But as night approaches, their pickets come across the Apache. Despite being outnumbered, they charge. They're actually successful. They're able to rout the Apache warriors all the way back to Coast Canyon and even cause 8 casualties. The Apache are actually able to regroup at Coast Canyon, and a long-range skirmish takes place, though neither side is able to inflict any more casualties on the other. After a while, the Apache withdraw. Of course, the Apache lost 8 dead, but the Arizona State Guard lost none. The Apache withdraw all the way back to northern Mexico. Will they return? On the 24th, 2 Confederates are getting jobs. Jameson Mason is appointed Commissioner of the United Kingdom by Jefferson Davis, and John Siddle, Commissioner of France. If we recall, when my video sucked even more, the Confederates believe that European intervention is a necessity for any sort of victory. But what good are these, ambassadors in North America? They're supposed to be in Europe if they want anything really done. On the 26th, one of our nearby neighbors declares neutrality. It's King Kamehaeha the IV of Hawaii. This disappoints both sides. As the Confederates see it, Hawaii is in the process of being Americanized, and annexation by the US government is just around the corner. But the Union looks in, of course they wouldn't work with the Confederacy. It's a main rival for their agricultural exports. Plus, many Confederates are already saying that once the war is over, they're going to go across the Caribbean, enslaving uncivilized parts of the world. But how long can neutrality last, especially enveloped in a civil war of their main territorial neighbor? Also on the 26th, the battle of Kaiser Cross Lane. Brigadier General John B. Floyd of the Confederacy takes 2,000 Confederates to attack Colonel Erastus Tyler, along with the 1,000 men of the 7th Ohio. The 7th Ohio are encamped at Kaiser Cross Lanes. It's a pretty nice spot until they find it overrun by Confederates and gunfire everywhere. The quick attack forces them to withdraw and then to rout. While loss is devastating for cowards like Colonel Erastus Tyler, who is seen fleeing before most of his men, it's a great place where heroes can prove themselves, like Major Jack Casement, who very skillfully withdraws his men through Confederate territory without losing a single man in the process. The rest of the Union is not so lucky. They lose 15 men dead, 20 wounded, 38 captured. We're not sure percentage killed or wounded, but in total the Confederates lost 40 men. Will Major Casement prove himself? Will he take over? On the 28th, Major General Fremont appoints a Uylsses S. Grant, command of all Union forces in southern Illinois and southern Missouri. It seems that Fremont has a lot of faith in this Grant because he passed over more senior men to pick him. Will Grant prove himself, or will he just be another McDowell? Now something new that I need. A full Union victory that matters. For this upcoming battle, Major General Benjamin Butler will have 200 men of the 9th New York, 500 men of the 20th New York, 100 men of the 99th New York Volunteer Infantry, 60 men of the 2nd Artillery, and 55 sailors. Though since this will be an amphibious battle, you will also need naval support. So there will be 7 warships, all led by Flag Officer Stringham, for this upcoming fight. The Confederates are led by Captain Samuel Barron and have around 900 men made up of the 17th North Carolina, the garrison from Fort Hatteras, and some volunteers. The three strongest Union warships begin the battle by having cannon fire burst out of them, while the weaker warships are disembarking troops east of Fort Clark, their first target. Fort Clark tries to fire against the warships firing at it, but misses all of them. They are unable to hit the warships because of a new tactic, first seen during the Crimean War. The Union ships fire, move out, reload, move back in, and fire. Due to this, the fort soon runs out of ammunition. Due to not having any ammunition, the Confederates leave the fort to the Union, and the soldiers that have already landed occupy it. But their warships don't know this and continue firing for 5 minutes, accidentally fatally wounding one of their own men. Finally, those who have now occupied the fort wave an American flag, signaling to the ships that the fort is now in their hands. Please stop shooting at us. While you would expect the battle ends here, it doesn't, because Fort Clark is just their first target. Their second target, Fort Hatteras. The landing of soldiers doesn't go so well. The weather isn't really in their favor, so the other landings are stopped. This leaves those who have already landed and occupied Fort Clark a little bit stranded, though they should be able to hold themselves since they do have the heavy guns with them. The Union warships now move over to Fort Hatteras. They continue using their same tactics, but now the Confederates know it, and they conserve their fire. The day ends with the Confederates praying for more reinforcements, and even praying that Zeus stops this weather. The new day rises, and it turns out the Confederate prayers have been answered. 700 North Carolinians do come to bolster their exhausted force, and Samuel Barron comes in to take control of the situation. The Union's prayers are also answered, and the weather finally calms down. The warships return and blast the Confederate fort. They then realize that they can fire on the fort while not actually being in range of the fort's cannons. This dashes the Confederates' hopes, and now they're just trying to desperately survive. For hours, fire rains down on the fort. Barron then calls a council. There is a consensus. Holding out is useless. At 11 a.m., a white flag is hoisted. The Union was 1 man and 2 wounded. All of this happens on the first day. Confederates lose 4 dead, 20 wounded, and 691 captured. As I said earlier, this victory is a huge relief. Both Butler and Stringham immediately tried to claim the victory as entirely their own, hoping to get the public support, just like McClellan has. Will the tactics shown here be adopted by every navy? Is this the first in a long winning streak for the Union? Is this a turning point of the war for the Union? Who knows? One can never really give up hope for as long as we have Sickles. Sickles' friendship gets him invited to all sort of blue room parties. Now, we'll never know exactly what happened at these parties, because I've never been invited to one. You know what? Why not? I mean, I'm great at discussing Rococo architecture style or what Senator Trumbull's wife was wearing at the party. I'm great at gossip. So why not me? You know what, I might have gotten off of a tangent there, but what I'm really trying to say is we'll never know exactly what happens there. What I can tell you is that every now and then, Lincoln walks in. Yes, the president. Now, what extent will this play in our hero Sickles' career? We don't yet know. But it is important to remember that Sickles' charm can help him get places. That's where the week ends, with many unanswered questions, leaving us just waiting. Waiting for the next event, waiting for the next battle, and waiting for the next week to come.
Hello, it's the entire Civil War Week by Week team here. If you like this video and want to see more, you can click here for a playlist of the entire war up till now. If you really liked the video and want to be made alert the second the next one comes out, you can click around here to subscribe. If you liked the video but have problems with commitment, you can click here-ish to watch another video. If you like the video, please like it. And if you disliked the video, well, you're a traitor and I'll link into you as soon as possible.